Okay,
Just do me a favor. Don't talk about Sal. We had a falling out, very big falling out. Yeah. All he wants to do is hurt people. Don't talk off the air, all right? Sorry, babe. Yo, Dom.
Yo, Dom.
Hey, guys.
What up?
Yo.
How are you, Joe?
How is everybody?
I can believe what I had this afternoon. I can't talk about it.
All right. Sorry about that.
Start the show, will you, please?
All right, yeah.
Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.
What's up, Joe?
Hi.
Yo, Joe, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Please help me with these guys.
I didn't really go anywhere. I'm on my couch, but thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It's like Star Trek, isn't it? I can't believe that happened.
I know.
I still don't believe it.
It's wild.
He's the
How are you,
scientist.
Dom? I haven't seen you in a. I haven't run into you in a long time.
Well, I'm with a different crowd now. Dancers. I love. I just got to get there and boogie, you know, guys. I mean, I shake your tail feather. I really do. How about you? What are you up to? You fat bastard.
Same thing. I've been hanging out with no Italians at all, which is why I haven't seen you. It's been all Irish and Russian. Yeah, Irish and Russian. That's about it.
Joe, Steve here. Nice to meet you. I actually married a Russian girl.
Well, good to meet you, Steve.
Yeah, same here, man.
You didn't know each other?
No. Joe was out of Philly when I started comedy already. I started comedy in 2012. You were long gone by then.
Me?
No, Joe. Joe started in Philly. I think so. Right, Joe?
Yeah. In 2001.
Did you work bananas or going bananas or with bananas?
I know. There were a lot of bananas back then.
Those are the days, huh?
Those were the good old days. Go Bananas. That was the Jersey one, right? Is Go Bananas, right? Bananas regular is Cincinnati, right?
There was one banana, shove a banana up your ass. That was a little rough.
That was the strip club. That was the strip club.
Yeah.
I gotta look and see my fat fucking face.
Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. Would that have been the bananas?
Yes. That's it. Is it called Go Bananas or just Bananas though? I could never remember.
I think that was just bananas.
Okay.
Plain bananas.
Regular bananas. It's like famous original bananas.
Okay. Yeah, then Go Bananas is the one in like Cincinnati or something. But
yeah, Go Bananas is in Cincinnati. Yep.
Okay. Now I got it. All right. Well, those were the good old days. A lot of banana clubs and the Laugh House. I started at the Laugh House.
Laugh House what? So you worked with that Sal guy, huh?
I thought you didn't want to talk about it.
We had differences. You know, I was having dinner with him. I love that guy. He goes, we're having dinner. He goes, oh, you want to go on tonight? I go, all right, whatever. What are you doing? He takes me to the Greek theater. It's 3,000 people. I go, you could have warned me. Does this have to do after every dinner? It was kids. You got kids in the front. What the fuck am I going to do?
What did you think? Was just going to be a spot, Dom?
No. He's a friend of mine, and he's got the great show, Practical Jokers, and you know, he's one of the nicest people we know in comedy, right?
He's a good man. He's a good man. We sell a little differently. He sells a tad more than I do on the road. I don't quite sell the Greek theater numbers, but what can you do? I'm trying.
Really?
Yeah. No, believe it or not, I don't. I don't.
I don't believe it. You can say what you want, but I don't believe it.
I know the art is misleading. You see art like this on a wall, you say this man sells tickets, but you know, I do what I like to call artsy rooms. You know, about 125.
Little ones that don't pay. I like that.
Yeah, artsy. You know what I mean? No money, Yeah. Drink tickets, that kind of thing.
What do you hope to do? Seriously, we think you're getting fucked on the money. If you meet me to talk for you, I'm going. What nationality are they?
Of who? Wait, what nationality is who? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you
said. That's all right. We don't go back.
I'd like you to send me some money. If you're offering to send me money, yes, I'd like you to send some money.
I would also agree with that too.
Yeah.
What the fuck would you wake up finally?
Me third. I got a baby, so if you're gonna put money in an envelope, Dom, I could use the cash.
Can I at least see a picture of the kids?
Of course.
How about the
Steve,
wife?
do you still? Oh, I'm sorry, Dom.
No, I'm not funny anyway.
No, you are. I'm not. I feel like I'm dragging us down right now.
No, it's good to have this break. It's good to have this, just talking not about nothing.
This is a very COVID-like podcast right now. Very COVID-like.
This is Steve, do you still live in Philly or do you live in LA now?
No, I live in Philly. I go down to the city like 2-3 times a week, trying to break down in New York.
Oh, you come up to New York 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've been coming down there a little bit, but like I work the Helium, Punchline, Soul Joel's.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my comedy mentors, I think, was very tight with you back in the day. Don Merle.
Oh yeah, Dom. Yeah. He passed, didn't he?
He passed away. Yep.
Oh,
but when I started, he really looked out for me.
Yeah, I knew Don very early on.
Laugh House, right?
Yeah, we were two of the like white guys that were there. He was a character, man. He was a character.
But there was like a group of you guys that hung out at the Laugh House, right? Like it was like you, Vecchione,
Rocco, Mike Vecchione, me. Toure kind of mentored me. He was the guy that really took me under his wing. Spank, who's always touring with Kevin Hart now, and Naeem, who tours with, there was a good crew of guys in there.
Whatever happened to Kevin Hart?
He died.
What did he do? Watch a show? What banana pulled him down?
Yeah, so I mean, it was fun down there. That's where I first met Dom. Remember, Dom? I don't know if you remember or not, but you came through there one Thanksgiving, and I opened for you, and that's how I met you. And you were the first. This is a true story. I'm not blowing smoke. You were the first thing. You were the first gig that I did where my mom felt like I made the right decision because she was a big fan of yours. And when I told her I'm opening for Dom Irrera, my mom couldn't believe it. And she was like, I guess there's a future potentially in this. She was very excited.
No problem. I'm glad I helped you.
Yeah, you did.
There, a young comic. Maybe I can help him. Come on. Go back to my hotel room. Tell jokes to each other. Here's a guy. He's fucking relentless. Steve, can I say this?
About me?
Yeah. He doesn't stop. Nothing stops him. Don't leave the guy alone. I was going to tell him you said that the whole fucking night. You just want to punch his face at, you know what I mean?
Me?
No.
Me?
That's part of the job. All right, we're going the other way with this.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. You notice we're not like the ones that are like everybody laughs at once. Here we got a murmur, a fake cough.
This is more of a slow burn to the end.
Those were good days. Remember what's your name? Who was the owner of the club?
Laugh
Mona.
Now she had big tits.
She did. She did. That is true. That's 100% true.
We got to go.
All right.
Hold that thought. And don't tell Sal I said hello.
I won't tell him anything.
Is that Mr. Rod's wife?
Yes.
I knew only Mr. Rod when I started.
Rod was the other owner. I got to tell you, I still talk to Rod here and there. I never knew if they were like together or if they were just partners who were very close friends. I never knew. I never asked.
Yeah, I thought they were married.
I think so. I think that they were, or at least like, very serious boyfriend, girlfriend or something. But yeah, I was never 100% sure in either way. But yeah, he just relaunched it somewhere.
They had a good run for a comedy club, no? Until
I think somebody's doing less. I think somebody's
different. Good.
Yeah. I think they're doing a Laugh House thing now in Atlantic City. I think somebody from the Philly Laugh House is down here. I'm not sure what the person's name is though. Who's running it?
It's Rod. Rod.
Oh, it is Rod.
Just texted me about it, so he's got to be the one behind it. But
cool.
But yeah, Mona passed. God, man, all these people we're talking about that have passed away, but not all of them, but two of them. But yeah, she passed, and that was kind of that. That was the end of the club, I guess. I remember doing.
Go ahead, brother.
What's that? No. Go ahead.
No, I just remember they asked David Brenner what he thinks the name of the club should be. He says, "What about David Brenner's?" Somebody named it after himself. I got an idea.
Yeah, I remember when it was called David Brenner's Laugh House, and then it just became the Laugh House. Something went wrong. The band broke up.
Then it just laughed.
Yeah, then it was just everybody, all the investors were pulling out. House. Then it was just called House.
Goodbye.
At one point, it was just called The. Club The.
You go to the club tonight? What you go? It's like the first man's joke. Abbott Costello, where I'm from.
Yeah, who's on first?
That was comedy. Two guys saying stupid things. One guy slapping the other guy.
I think that's the first comedy routine I ever heard. The Who's on First. I think that might have been my first ever introduction to comedy. I was listening to that.
I guess you didn't pay attention.
It.
I don't know. I feel like I was. I think my brother. I had an older brother who showed it to me, but I think I was pretty young, like 6 or 7 when I heard it.
Were you telling the story about where were you last week? Houston?
Austin.
Austin.
Oh yeah. So Brian's not a stand-up, and
way not.
He produces our podcast. And we were down hanging. We were down hanging out with Dom and Eleanor because they were headlining Rogan's club.
I was at Dom. I was there like 2 days after you left, and they were like, Dom and Eleanor are here. It was so fun. Like I honestly, yeah.
Did the smoke clear when we were there?
No, it was still smoky.
The cops were driving me crazy. I was so big. I was like the Beatles of one of these new groups.
I thought you meant the smoke in the green room. You bet. It's the smokiest green room on planet Earth. It was fun. No, beautiful. Everybody was raving about how fun it was to have you there and how funny you were and everything.
Yeah, but so Dom, Voss, and Eleanor were on the panel for Kill Tony, and Brian, who's not a comic, put his name in the bucket and got called.
We thought it was a setup.
Didn't go well.
It was an abomination. Horrible.
Well, and I've said this to these guys before. I've tried to write. You also don't know if it's going to work until you get on stage. And I mean,
that's not true. I saw you in the audience. You look like a loser.
Come on.
So wait, Brian, though, do you want to do stand up, or were you just as a goof, like I'm just going to see what happens?
No, it definitely wasn't a goof. I do write stuff down. I got notebooks and stuff like that. I write premises and other things down, but I edit a lot of stand up clips. So I like listen to a lot. So I wanted to give it a shot.
Sure. Listen to their material done by you.
Well, they always said in comedy, what's the first step? People go editing.
Yeah, I should have tried that, but you know.
You go, should I go to open mics? They go, no, edit. Sit home and edit, and then.
When are you going back?
I will say though, I mean, it was I had a good time, and I also don't regret it. You know.
No, that's great. I swear to God, I'm busting balls, but I think it's awesome that you got up and did it. Also, dude,
you weren't there.
Yeah, you can see it. It was rough. It was rough.
Let me show you a little tape.
I get Dom and Steve. I don't know if you can relate to this. So I'm somewhere around 25 years in or something like that. When I judge on Kill Tony, I get such fucking anxiety watching the kids get up for that 1 minute because I can remember the fear of when you were that new and being in front of a packed house, and then on top of it, the pressure that there's other comics there. So my hat's off to you, dude. I think
I was blinded by dumbness. I think is maybe what it was.
My first set ever was on the Tonight Show. I started there and then I kept just going down. I was still selling fruits in Central Park. Strawberries, hand me strawberries. Nice and fresh. Like a banana. Bananas tonight, 2 tickets for 1.
I just think it's crazy because Dom talks about on the show all the time how there's something about people that never did comedy that they think, oh, how hard could I'll grab the mic and I'll go.
I mean, that's not it at all, dude. I mean, you think I don't know comedy's hard? I mean, how long have I been working with, I don't know, a lot of people?
But
well, I mean, it's just, don't you know.
No.
Don't say that I thought it was easy. I didn't think that.
Well, going up there, did you think, nah, it's not going to be that bad? Did you?
Oh, no, dude. I was like 75% sure that I wasn't going to get any laughs at all. But I mean,
really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I figured I'd, maybe get 1 or 2, but that didn't happen.
Not even even close to a murmur.
There is a, and I know, and this is not me saying that you felt this way, Brian. There is a
that's
karaoke.
Funnier than him. Well, you just did that. I swear.
I always had it. It's just in my bones. But there's a karaoke element to it where, if you want to kind of do it, you're like, fuck it, I'm going to try it. And then you get up and then you're halfway through the song and you're going, this is fucking, I thought this would be hard, but Jesus Christ, this is really hard.
I never had one bad moment on the stand-up stage, right? I mean, I had the natural thing. Like I would walk into a room, people are laughing at me. I didn't even want to talk about it because I'm so used to success, and I never had a bad set. I one time I almost killed, and the rest of them I killed.
Oh, okay. That's what happened.
Todd, wait, was it Todd Glass that made this joke, or was it you, Dom? It might have been you. It was either you or Todd Glass. It was at Montreal, and either one of you was talking to Big Jay Okerson, and the other guy goes, Jay, how was your set tonight? And he goes, oh, I killed. And the other guy goes, that's nothing. I judge my sets now in applause breaks. 16 applause breaks tonight. It's such a ridiculous fucking thing.
He's still
a guy getting. Huh?
No.
What's that? Oh, okay. Don't listen? Did you just say don't listen?
One time I was doing a thing with Bill Hur and Bill Hur and Jaime Madsada.
Uh-huh.
We were on a thing together.
That was you're talking about the Laugh Factory podcast, right, Dom?
Yeah.
It was the Laugh Factory podcast.
I don't know what made me think of that. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of funny things. You never know what it's like.
I have a great Jaime Madsada story. Do you remember when he would do? I don't know. He might still do it. Remember there was the open mic, and you'd have to set. So they had this open mic at the Laugh Factory. You had to wait outside for like fucking 3 hours, and then you got in and you did 3 minutes in front of Jaime Madsada, and there maybe be a sprinkling of waitresses or something in there, and it was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. And I went in and I did it. I was brand new. I did it, and I for what the room was, I killed. Like I made Jaime laugh, and I made some comics laugh. I did well for what it was. And then afterwards, Jaime talks to you. So I went on. I felt really great. The kid went on after me and ate a dog's died a dog's death. So I go up, and then Jaime sits me down, and he goes, "Buddy, what is your day job?" And I go, "I deliver pizza." He goes, "Quit. This is your job. You will be a comedian." I felt like it was like a Jedi, like anointing me. I ran outside. I was so excited. I'm standing outside telling my friend what happened. The kid that ate the dog's dick comes running out behind me. And he goes, "I'm so excited. Jaime Madsada just told me to quit my job. This is my job now." I was like, oh, he just says that to everybody.
That's fucking great.
Well, he told Bill that he wasn't ready.
Burr?
Go back.
That's a sharp eye, huh? He told him, go back to New York, study there other than the experts out here. He's a fucking moron.
So wait, you would at that time you would do the mic and you might get passed, like you'll get spots.
No, it was literally just. I gotta be honest. I don't know why he did it outside of the kindness of his heart, because the club didn't get anything out of it. You didn't there was no audience and nobody bought drinks or anything. There's a bunch of broke open micers that would sit in line for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was. Then you'd go in and you'd do a set, like I said, for him and maybe some waitresses that were setting up for the night. There was no benefit for the club to do it. It was just a nice thing he did, I guess, where he just wanted.
He was an agent too, right? Wasn't Jaime an agent?
Manager.
Manager. Yeah.
I think he managed me for 2 weeks.
Really?
We had our ups and downs, but yeah, it was always nice to me. But we're taking those advice from a fucking guy who can't even speak English. What did he say? I don't know. Something about.
Yeah. No, he said keep your job. He didn't say quit your job.
Yeah.
He said you have no future.
Were you based out in LA for a little bit, Joe? Or I thought you were just Philly, New York.
No, this was when I literally first started. I was visiting friends in LA, and I just did it while I was there. But no, I lived in LA for about 6 years, till 2013 to 2019 or something like that. I did the clubs and stuff. It's funny, I wasn't a paid regular at the store until after I left LA.
Oh God.
And then so the only two clubs I really worked were sometimes the Factory and the Improv. So it was hard. It was hard to get stage time. It was hard to get enough stage time. So eventually I moved back to New York. What's that, Dom?
Were you?
No, that's basically the story. You can't get on because the best guys have the balls to go out there,
Right.
Me, on the other hand, I was killing all the way. Everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Everywhere.
Every show.
The comedy store really had ups and downs, because when I was there at the beginning, it was like Arsenio Hall was there with the whole thing, his show, everybody's show. And then it went really down. It was like two guys doing any TV. It was Paulie and me. Now, those clubs in bad shape when they're the two best guys. But it came back with Bill and Joe really brought it back.
Mm-hmm. The store?
Yeah.
I remember.
You remember what?
Well, I was I remember when Joe got. Remember when Joe got booted because he went after Carlos Mencia?
Yeah, I was there. The whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Joe. I felt like Joe kind of put the Ice House on the map in that interim period, And I thought that the Ice House was a great fucking club, and I loved playing the Ice House, but it was so far, you couldn't like sandwich. You just can't.
It wasn't that far, but the people that lived around it wasn't far at all. People that lived in the neighborhood, the drive.
Yeah, they could get right there.
They could see it from the patio.
Yeah, I'd go out there. I'd feel like I would have like pack a lunch or something. Like by the time and then people would say, "Do you ever do comedy magic?" I was like, "What are you nuts?" It's like
you can't curse there.
Yeah. So I found it tough that if you weren't in at the store in LA, you couldn't. It's fun. Now that I'm past, I was like, now I want to go spend time in LA and work the store and just work out and stuff, but it's a different thing.
Yeah.
I was hanging out. I was hanging out with some of the Philly guys I came up with in Austin, and I was telling them how like I've been going up to New York, and I thought it was going to be this situation where you can get up 5-6 times a night, but they said Austin's like that right now. Like there's so many stages and pop-up rooms, and
I like that little room with a French name. Something La Boom.
Room with a French name. In Austin?
No, in Burbank. It's pretty good.
Oh, the Chateau. You're talking about the Comedy Chateau.
There's
Comedy Chateau.
There's ha and hardy hars.
Flappers. Flappers I used to do a lot.
Yeah, but in LA, you're not getting up 4 or 5 times a night, right? It ain't like that.
No, and I think too. Look, I was just talking to a young comic about this, about New York versus Austin, and I said, "Look, man," I said both places can be great if you're willing to put your time in and cut your teeth. I go, but there is no fast pass. Like there's just no fast pass. Like, sure, maybe you could get up a little more in New York. Or maybe you could get up a little more in Austin, or maybe whatever. But no matter where you are, and it's just going to boil down to what you have access to, what you can work your way into, and how much frequency you can build. So I would say outside of New York, Austin is one of the only places where you can get reps in. But you still got to get in. You still got to get in to do that, right? So, or at least I think. I mean, it doesn't seem like you can just waltz on anywhere, right? But I don't know. Maybe it's a little easier.
When you broke into the New York scene, did you get that right away? Like, were you getting up 4 times a night? Oh no,
no, dude. I for years and years and years, like I was passed. I remember there's a period where I was passed at 4 clubs and I never got spots at any of them. Because you passed, but then there were so many comics. You'd pass, but then you'd never get on, or you'd pass and you'd get once a month. Or you'd pass and you'd only ever get a check spot. And like, it still was brutal, but it was a place I was willing to just go, I'm going to keep hammering my head against this wall until I get in. There were other people that got right in and started moving quickly. It's different for everybody, but I think for the most part, it's very often just like how long you're willing to cut your teeth, and that's it,
When did you feel like you were getting to...
What's that?
What's that?
No, go ahead.
I had a very easy path to it, and I never had a bad set, and everybody always liked me. But I know you guys had tough times.
Joe, when did you feel like you were getting like steam, like picked up? Like how long did it take before you really felt like you were kind of rolling?
When the comedy store limo picked me up, and I would wave to the middle acts. Hey, middle act. This is food.
Bye, middle acts. No, I'll let you know when that happens. At some point when the steam comes on. No, I don't know, man. I was always somebody where it was like a slow burn, man. It's never been. You have moments of, wow, it feels like stuff's starting to move, and then it slows down. And then I've had moments where it really dries up and it's tough, and you got to push through and muscle through. I feel lucky that I just kind of keep bopping along and get to keep doing it. But I always felt like a slow burn. I joke all the time that every opener I ever had has blown past me, in one way or another. I remember Ali Wong being like, "You're so good. How do you?"
What's that good? You make me laugh.
Yeah.
Wow, that hurt.
Anyway, but I'm not complaining.
What's your home club now? Where you work out the most?
Usually the Beacon Theater in New York.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got a residency there.
Yeah. Me and Seinfeld were the only two. No, in New York, I work the Stand a lot. I work New York Comedy Club a lot. I work Gotham, and I work the Cellar. But I love all those places. I would say I have the longest relationship with Gotham, and they're the first club that has ever headlined me in New York. They're great guys. But the Stand,
I only said they're good.
I've worked out more at. No, they're great. I'm saying no. I was agreeing.
I think they're stupid.
But I gotta, Dom, they're not crazy about you. They've told me. They've pulled me aside.
Well, as a person, no, but an actor, I do. You tell your mother she was right about him. Down to earth, he's funny.
Yo, I seen pictures in a sandwich shop, bro. Was that Are you from South Philly? Are you from like downtown Philly?
Oh, I was born Northeast. But Pennsylvania, that Philly area of Pennsylvania into South Jersey, does the hoagie thing like nobody else. And I wanted to bring a little bit of that into New York. So
where you getting the bread?
We make it. We bake the bread every day.
Oh, wow. Nice.
We figured out how we wanted the bread to taste. We knew the approach, and we worked really hard and long with the baker from Sicily, Pizziola, named Fausto, who perfected it over the course of like 2 months.
Now we're getting some talk about what I wanted to talk about, bakeries. Thanks. This is why I wanted to for a show.
Yeah, this is.
Now let me ask you this about rye bread. I don't mean to throw it at you like this. You're the one that's going to make it, whatever that is. How many people do you think you could shit? I mean, excuse me. I'm so funny.
Dom, you're cracking yourself up tonight.
Oh God, I go home to my lonely apartment. I had to do the plants are going like it.
Hold on, guys. I'm coming right back. I got to step off for 2 seconds.
I do too. I
right back.
I got to blow my nose.
Yeah.
Where's he
go
going?
For it. I don't know.
He's all right.
We'll see.
Do something funny.
Yeah, we're gonna watch you blow your nose. I'm gonna edit that up into a clip. Now Dom's leaving.
My ass.
Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're good. Dom's got to do something now. No, he's coming back.
He did the same thing with Bobby Kelly. He just walked away. And then he went, what the fuck? Did I just walk Dom Irrera? And then Dom came back like 7 minutes later, like nothing happened,
So how long have you had the sandwich spot?
It's called Joey Rose's. It's on the Lower East Side of New York. We've been open for a little over 2 years.
Oh, cool. Do you live in the Lower East Side also?
Yeah, when I'm in New York, that's where I stay. So, it's great. It's joeyroses.com. Check it out. But it's a bar and a sandwich shop, and it's open late. We serve from open to close. We open every day. It's 11:30 a.m. for the lunch rush, and we serve sandwiches all day. We have cheap drinks, or affordable drinks, I should say. And it's a real social club. Yeah, it's like a social club kind of old school vibe. And the sandwiches are very, very Philly inspired, we'll say.
Yeah, here we go. Prosciutto, salami. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, this looks great. I like that you got a peanut butter and jelly on there too. Peanut butter and jelly is always nice to get out.
Yeah, I agree.
You guys do the pony beer bottles like the neighborhood bars in Philly? The little pony.
We have.
Actually, wait a minute. Thanks for waiting for me. Excuse me. I had the biggest boner I ever had in my life. I don't know what the fuck to do. And so I just had to look at it.
Was it the three of us or one of us in particular?
No, don't go that guy. Nothing wrong with me, tough guy.
Something else you were thinking about.
Is that the same napkin that you just came in?
Come on, you'll know. That's a good question.
So you guys only worked with each other at Philly? You didn't like cross paths at like festivals or anything, you and Dom?
No, we did. I'd see Dom here and there. Sometimes around the clubs in LA. But in Philly, one or two different weekends in Philly. But I mean, honestly, Dom, I'm not blowing smoke. Like you, when I was a kid, my mom and me would watch you, Richard Jenny, and Rosie O'Donnell. And we liked other comics too. I became a Carlin fan very early on, but like that was like the three of you were real like bonding comedians for me and my mom, outside of like Bill Cosby. And
how's he doing?
He's good. He's out.
Will you tell him I said hi ski?
Yeah. So
Joe, you remember the first thing you saw Dom in?
What's
Joe?
that?
You remember the first thing you saw Dom in? The first
it was stand up.
It was.
It was stand up. It was probably the HBO half hour.
But Rodney,
it might have been Rodney, yeah, because I remember watching the Rodney's Place and the Dangerfields like young comedians thing every year.
We were the only special. Robert Klein, and how much? I mean, it was hard to get, but if you got it, it's great. Unbelievable. Yeah. I can't even talk. I'm getting emotional.
I mean, it's wild the focus that you got from that exposure back then, because there was, Jesus Christ, there was one fucking movie channel. There was one. It was like crazy. Like
remember UHF?
Yeah.
UHF or whatever.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And you'd have to switch on the box.
Yeah.
Switch to UHF channels. Like it was wild, man. I remember when comedy, it was called the Comedy Channel, and then there was Ha, and eventually they merged and became Comedy Central. But I remember when my mom told me that the new cable channels were coming, and those were two of them, and how excited we both were that there was going to be a stand-up channel. Like, we loved stand-up, and I never thought in a million years I would do it, but we just were really big stand-up fans, really big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, well, but then like I would always get excited when I saw Dom and stuff like when you were in Big Lebowski, I got really excited, and I always love seeing you pop.
Yeah, that was cool. I had no idea how big that was. It's a cult movie, but like the thing about Rodney Dangerfield's thing was I didn't know what was going to happen. I got in fights with two friends of mine because they both did long. Damon Wayans and Barry Sobel. Rodney was in the room, and they went instead of just doing 10, they did 20 each. Fuck them. And all I did was, and Rodney comes up to me and goes, "Kid, you're funny, but you got no act. All you do is lay into people." I said, "No, I was just pissed." And, he was all like, "I'll see you again," and that made it work. So it happens. It's really cool. My mom came, and my sister, and I don't realize how it was going to be. You would never predict something that big. I go to Atlanta, and I'm looking in the door at the packed on a Tuesday night. I go, "Wow, fuck, what's here tonight?" And this guy goes, "You are, brother." I go, "What?" And then that fast, the whole thing got boom.
It's wild. It's wild. Well, like
Andrew,
oh, go ahead.
No, it's just Andrew got really hot from that, and a lot of people.
Yes.
Bill Hicks was here. It was great, and then
I felt like you were like Dom. You're like the godfather of a particular style of comedy. You were the first guy I ever saw do it that I think bore guys like Sebastian, and there's other guys now where and the style, I mean, I don't mean to sound, I'm not saying Sebastian sounds like you. I don't mean that. But you were the first guy I ever saw where the style was, I'm a street kid, but I'm going to make fun of the street kids. Like other Italian guys would get up in the 80s that I would see, and it would all be like, we got an attitude where I come from, and it was always blowing it up. You were the guy that got up and was like, you were the guy that like read books, and then you would go on stage, you'd be like, let me tell you about my cousin, he's an idiot. and you still had all the tone. Yeah, you had the tone of the city and the attitude of the city, but you were being like, you would make great references and use the different vocabulary. And like, now that's like a thing guys do where they go up and they're like, I'm from this city and they make fun of their friends and whatever. But like, I felt like you were the first guy I ever saw do that, you know?
Yeah. Where was I? Where am I now?
You're on this podcast with me.
I heard it was good. What's that fat guy's name from? No, I don't want to talk about him.
Joe, I heard on didn't you, when you first went to New York, didn't you like link up with Attell? Didn't he take you on the road for a while?
Well, Jay Okerson was the one that pulled me out of Philly and was like, you're ready. You should come to New York. I need a roommate. Why don't you come rent the room? And I'm going to take you around. And he was the guy that brought me around. Dave and Jay hooked up with Dave, I think through Caroline's. And then Dave said, we're going to go on the Insomniac tour. I need a host. Do you know anybody? And Jay said, bring my roommate, Joe. That's how I became friends with Dave. And it all worked out. Dave's the best.
Dave to me is one of the, you know, like people think that there's a 100-yard dash guy, but he proves by going 100 yards. David Tell to me is the best comedian in his style ever.
Yes.
And he's so fucking brilliant.
I agree.
Yeah,
I've never seen
he's got a special coming out.
He's so naturally funny. He can make you cry laughing.
I was doing a show in San Diego and Dave was doing a show and his late show started after my show. So I did my show and then I went over to say hi and whatever. And then I watched his whole hour. And then 2 days later, I watched him do like 20 minutes at the store of jokes from that hour and laughed equally as hard. And I told him outside, I go, Dave, I can't tell you that the last time I like sat and watched a comic like that, I was that enthralled.
Yeah.
You know, because you get jaded after a while and you're like, all right, we've all seen comedy and there's a special, new special every 3 seconds on the TV or whatever. But Dave is, I agree.
Special. Thanks. It's not a special unless if other people can't do it. If you can create your own thing, it's something else. It's not special.
Right. Right.
I'm not mocking anybody. And the Sebastian kid, it really made me laugh because he's such a good guy. And he's in such no way he would fucking steal. And I said to him, you know, I told the people, I don't own Italy. You know, so he's not stealing. But he ain't allowed to act like an Italian guy. He's more physically a clown, and I don't mean that derogatively because he's fucking brilliant mimers and you know that kind of fun.
Right.
Not like Stephen Wright who stands there and you know.
Yeah. Yes. Sebastian to me is almost like if Seinfeld was like more of a city kind of guy or something. You know, it's like very observational, but the attitude's there. Sebastian's hilarious, man.
Well, Jerry loves the thing that he can't do. I mean, I remember a long time ago he said to me, "I wish I could do with that." I said, "Well, I'm an actor. I can't really do stand up. He said, "I'd love to be able to do it." I said, "You could do whatever the fuck you want. You're good, you know." But it's like I never thought. It's like, you know, he looked like he tried and he fell on the floor. Jerry, did you see in the last HBO movie? Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was laying on his back.
At least he's trying. You know what the fuck.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Seinfeld fan. You guys, I mean, did you guys start together? Because you were friends, like you were old friends, right? I assume.
Yeah, he was about 1 or 2 years ahead of me. I met him when I was working as a waiter for a little bit, maybe a week. I got fired on that. I was pulling cars at 49th and then the 3rd. And I met him around the comic strip. That's what it was. And a guy was a friend of Jerry's and all that shit. I knew him a little bit before we knew each other with stand-ups.
Was he already headlining, Dom, when you met him?
No, there wasn't anything as headlining. There wasn't really anything called that, I mean, headlining was Sammy Davis Jr.
Right.
Right.
So comedians were just showcase acts at that time?
It's rock music was much more serious, seriously taken. And the stadium thing is unbelievable. Like that they have that now. I mean, I think it's no. I'm not going into that, but I don't think you can do stand-up comedy in a stadium, no matter who you are.
I would imagine it's very different. I've never done it, but I imagine it's got to be.
Well,
I opened for the.
Who?
Go ahead. I was going to say I opened for the Jokers. I did a weekend with the Jokers in arenas, and I did well. I just had to go out at the top of the show and do 15 or 20 minutes, and I did well, but it was very much like hammer. You know what I mean? Like you're not stopping and taking a breath and going, hey, what's up with this guy over here or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was like, no, you got to move, man, and make it work. And it's fun,
tough,
but it's definitely different.
I opened for Cher for a couple of years, and she had really good good crowds because she was so diverse. She was an Oscar in the movies, and Grammys. But it was still like there's like a grandmother, and it's not exactly my crowd, How you doing, lady? I mean, mister.
Yeah, Cher was like a Dolly Parton or something, I would imagine, right? Just an eclectic mix of
everybody.
She's great to work with. She didn't give a fuck. She was fun. That's cool. She hid in her the beautiful dressers where they had. She just didn't give a fuck. One joke I did that she didn't like was I stopped doing was, watching porn with your girlfriend. It's where it's, because you're always worried he's going to go, no, that's a cock. And that stupid joke she hated. I did tell him something about jizz over a wall, jism. And she said, you can't believe you do that in front of my grandmother. I go, well, I can't believe you're showing your grandfather your ass.
Yeah.
What about that?
Fair enough.
In your opinion, like, what do you guys think is like the best situation for stand-up comedy? Is it like a room of 50, a theater? Like what's the perfect situation?
Perfect. I would say about 300, 400. Not to make it special. I know it's everybody wants more money. Or they got somebody got to get it somewhere. So somebody's got to sit up there.
Right.
I feel like I would agree. I would agree with that. I like I do like it. I like it intimate. I think that's great when there's 100, 200 people and you're in the room and it's a low ceiling and all that. Like that's always great. But I always say too, like if you go on at a sold out theater, it's pretty hard to fuck that up. I feel like because those people really paid money and Jesus, man, they're respected. Like that's their night. Yeah. That's easy not to fuck up.
Yeah, but like you were saying, Dom, it's like we're in an era right now where stand-up, it's like a normal thing now where people are doing stadiums and big venues, comedy outside. Like, I feel like that stayed a little bit, no?
Yeah,
like before COVID, that wasn't, except for the show in Camden that you guys did, right? The Oddball. These outside comedy shows?
The Drunk Ball.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to an outside comedy show. I don't think I would do it. I think seeing 100 or 200 inside in a small club is one of the best viewing, the best experience.
You don't want it too small because then you look like a loser.
Yeah.
If I was 300.
Yeah, 200, 300.
When Opie and Anthony did that virus tour, like I might be wrong. I don't think anything like that had ever been done where they were going to these amphitheaters with 7 or 8 comics and just doing a stand-up show basically that they
that was Bill's last one of those. Because people who go and they want to see him do that, and that was an improv. Do that thing you just made up again.
Oh, the Bill Burr rant.
Yeah.
He followed you, right, Dom?
Yeah, but I had him on. I did the same shit. I did the 300 people out, and then that's like 10 people. But I don't give a fuck. I said, go back to your mommy, put your AC/DC shirt on, and jerk off, and whatever again. And they stopped, but Bill wouldn't let it go. He talked to me like I was in the third person. He goes, they booed Dom Irrera. I go, Bill, I am Dom Irrera. It's not that big a deal. Fuck. He goes, yeah, fuck them. And I knew he was going to do something not that brilliant, but I didn't know that. But I go around sitting, I'm fucking crying, laughing again with him. And the line that made me laugh the most, and fuck the Liberty Bell. And what the fucking Liberty Bell do to anybody? when things were getting really
Philly. It was in Philly. That's wild, right?
Yeah, Camden, the suburb.
Camden, yeah, the waterfront.
What was that, like 2005 or 2006?
I don't know
when that was.
I don't know
because it was like, it was like the beginning of cell phone cameras, because there wasn't really a good recording of that, but that was kind of like when YouTube was first kicking around.
Yeah,
and I remember too, it was like weird because everybody was talking like, holy shit, Bill's like getting heat from the video online where and that was a new thing. That wasn't like, oh, it went viral. I don't even think there was a term for it yet. Like, I don't think they called it that yet. It was like, it was weird. Like, wait, what happened? I know he did a thing, but like that's like getting him stuff. Like it was a weird thing that had never, now you have a video that has 1 million views on it and it doesn't matter. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like it's all just a big ocean of stuff. But
we were talking. I think to either Judy Gold or Brian Regan about this the last time we brought this up. But there was an error in comedy where you would like try to format that 5 to 7 minute set for TV, and it would it snowball into all these opportunities for you. Now comedy, that's not what stand up is anymore. You could work on that tight 7. But there's no guarantees. It turns into the internet game, YouTube content. Like it's different now.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons. And Shane's a really good friend of mine, but it was one of the reasons I so adamantly supported Shane when he got in trouble, because I was getting mad because I was like, why is everybody acting like? How could a guy say a thing that some of us deem inappropriate on a podcast? What does he think? And I'm like, guys, podcasts are just part of this now. That's like saying a crazy thing at an open mic at this point. Like you just have to have like when I started, podcasts didn't exist. And then like now it's like if you start doing comedy, you have to do a podcast. You have to. Like it's just not even an option to not make it part of your resume or whatever. And in fact, a lot of guys do the podcast first and then try stand or whatever. So like, but like, it's a very, very different world, man. It's a very different world. I don't like all the personally, and I do it because I need to make a living, but like, I don't like the constant capturing of ourselves that we're all doing. There's too much now that can be manipulated and exploited and cut into a thing that you didn't say. Now, especially with AI and whatever, it's very, very different. But like Dom, what you were saying earlier, like it's not a special if everybody can do it. And it's like, there's a difference between I put an hour on YouTube and I have a special. Those are two different things. We can all put an hour on YouTube. We can all set up a few cameras in a room or whatever. And I'm not knocking that. It's just, but it's not the same thing as like, no, man, like, I worked on this for years and I honed it and rehoned it, whatever. And then like I had an idea and we tried to bring the aesthetic into it, whatever, whatever you're thinking.
Right.
But those are very, very different things,
Yeah. was talking to Matt McCusker about that while I was in Austin. Mm-hmm. He stopped stand up for a couple years and just focused on this, the podcast game. And then as they built the following with that, he slowly got back into it. And it's much like you said, a lot of people now, they're starting their careers right on their phone or doing stuff.
I was with Rogan for the whole beginning of that. We used to shoot pools every Sunday night. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "You gotta see this thing." And I didn't even know how to fucking start the computer or whatever the fuck. And he's like, I got like almost 1 million followers. It's fucking crazy because it's like some kind of movement with, and that's oh god. So for me to go look at that fucking place, it's so amazing that
the podcast boom, right?
Yeah, his thing personally, I mean, it's remarkable what he's done. Not just because my buddy, but it's like, fuck, he just did everything, and he didn't want to do movies because he didn't want to bother to him. Well, he got his own fucking world, like amazing.
Joe, do you remember when podcasts first started happening? Like, did you know what was going on? Were you like, what the fuck are they? Like, it was.
Yeah, not yet. I remember, and also Bobby Kelly and I used to do a podcast.
There's a funny motherfucker.
Yeah.
Bobby Kelly's funny.
Bill and I used to do this too. Bill and I had a thing called Uninformed, and Bobby had You Know What, Dude, and I was the first guy on it with him. I was the co-host with him, and
I'd love to see that.
I got to tell you, dude, I don't even know if the episodes are still around. Like we would sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it is.
You had to call. Yeah. We used to do this thing. Me, Bill, and Bobby would do a thing where you had to call the guy on the phone and call a recording service that you had to pay. It was like $30 every time you did it or something. And it would record the conversation, and then you could download it from a server. And dude, we did ones where we lost the episode because you hit pound instead of whatever at the end to save it, like whatever. And they sounded like shit. They sounded like phone calls. They sounded like recorded phone calls. It was before headsets and mics on your phone and all that shit. It was like you were holding a fucking cell phone up to your head and talking into it. And it was nuts. It was nuts. I have a podcast I do now called We'll See You in Hell. It's movie reviews that I do with my friend Pat Walsh. We did that podcast. I'm not exaggerating. We did that podcast for 5 straight years, every week. Never made a dime. We didn't see $1 until 5 years in because it was before you could just monetize like it just wasn't a thing yet. It wasn't like as easy. There was no Patreon or any of that shit. So it was a different time, man. It was weird. And then slowly, Joe obviously cracked through in a way that nobody else has. But like well, now some people have, but you know what I mean? He was the first through the door. But my God, man, if you look at, do you ever watch early episodes of Rogan? They're in like a tiny room with like,
that's what Dom was talking about.
Yeah.
Like they're sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
We gotta go out, pal. You want to run us out?
Oh, you gotta go.
We're ending the episode.
Thanks for coming in. Great job.
Dude, anytime.
Tell your mom I said thank you for liking my little Goomba act.
Joe, thanks, man. Nice meeting you, man. I hope I see you in New York.
Pleasure. Definitely.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
Come and get me in New York, where I'll stand there and I'll holler, Joe, and I'll come and grab you, and everybody will notice that we're friends.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to try that?
Let's shoot it.
Yo, Joe. Thanks, guys. And you blow me off. Thanks. Yo, Dom, over here. Hey, Dom, hey.
Yo, Dom.